Hi, good morning all, and thank you so much for joining today's exclusive webinar on F&O privilege, that's derivative privilege, and how to place your first order. Right. So first of all, I again thank each and everyone for the interactive responses that all our viewers, the questions that they have asked. So again, I have gone through the questions, and majority of questions was into knowing of future and options, that is the learning of future and options, and how to place orders, right? So today also at the end we will be taking the Q&A session. All right. So first let me make you understand that we have already done a series on webinar. A series of webinar on future and options. Okay, this was done last month only, and in terms of learning part and what were those webinars all about, I will show that to you. And all those webinars are available on YouTube as well as on our mobile application. So all those webinars that you have missed out, the videos that you have missed, you can very well check that on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and you can see the same in our mobile application. So now over to my computer screen so that I can tell you what are the options and what those webinars were all about. Okay, so 4 webinars we have done. The first one was basically on understanding derivatives and its market participants. Second was on derivative analysis. Third one was on learn hedging with derivatives. And fourth one, how to trade with us. Okay, so I will show you where you can access this on our mobile application, right? So you have to go to mobile application, open that. In pre-logged in section only, you just need to click on more. The moment you click on more, just come little down and you can see the third option after the share app as videos. Just click on videos. These divided into 3 sections: research, learn and demo. Click on learn and here you can see derivative webinar series 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I request all my viewers who wanted to know the basic understanding on the webinar part, they can go through these webinars and they can upgrade their knowledge levels. Right? And apart from that, I would also like to highlight Mr. Devarsh Vakil, who is our research head from the derivatives section. He have also uploaded his videos, his webinars and his views for derivative as a product. So that also you can see. You have to scroll down a little down and you can see webinar on derivatives, advantages of derivatives, how to protect, right? So these details are also available in our mobile application only, in the pre-logged in section only. Okay, so now let's try to understand, in order to trade with us, in order to start your transactions in future and options, what is the primary requirement? The primary requirement is to first you see whether your privilege is activated or not, because as per the requirements and as per the norms, in order to have your derivative privilege active, you need to submit the income documents. So probably some of the customers have already submitted and they would have activated the privilege at the time of account opening, or maybe some of the customers would have not done that, so they would have the privilege as no. So let me tell you how to first check your privilege and then how to activate your privilege. Activating the privilege is absolutely free of cost. There is no cost attached to it. Okay. So now first I will show you where you can check the privilege. So for that you have to log into your Empowered, your HDFC Securities account on a system. And once you log in, this is how the login screen appears. Under this extreme bottom on the right side, you can see in blue color, my privileges. So you need to click here. The moment you click here, you will get to know whether the privilege is allowed or not. So in this section, you can see NSE equity is allowed, derivative is allowed, NSE currency is not allowed. So that means I won't be able to place a currency order. In order to do that, I need to activate the privilege for currency, right? So similarly, in case for any of your customers, when you see NSE derivative as not allowed, that means you have to activate the privilege. If you see it is allowed, you can go ahead and you can place the order, right? Okay, so now let's try to understand how, in case if the privilege is not allowed, how you can place the request for activation of the privilege. right? So for that, you need to go to our pre-login section, our website, hdfcsec.com. Then you need to go to products. Under the products, you can see the first option as equity, mutual funds, then the third one, derivatives. Under derivatives, the last option is derivative privilege. So you just need to click on it. Okay, so you will get the register for derivative privilege page. Click on FNO, future and option. Click I agree with the terms and condition. Click on proceed. Okay. Enter your login credentials. Then click on proceed. Now this will definitely ask you to upload your income document. As I said earlier, that's a norm that you need to provide your income document. So you will find the list of income documents out here in the next screen. So in that I found last 6 months bank statement or your demat account holding statement as the easiest option that you can get it through your net banking. So for that you just need to click on you need to log in onto your net banking, and once you have logged into your net banking, you can either go ahead and you can download your last 6 months bank statement from historical data, historical statement option, or you can click on demat tab and download your demat holding statement, right? And keep that soft copy ready on your desktop or a laptop. So once you click on proceed, then you will see the option of selecting the income range. You can select the income range and then you select the document type. So as I said, that bank account statement of last 6 months or maybe demat holding statement will do. So you can, as per your requirement, you can select any of them, whichever you are comfortable, and you have the soft copy ready with you. Just select that, click on choose. Just you need to locate the file and click on submit. Once you click on submit, you will get a pop-up message that your privilege will be activated within T+2 working days. Right? So this is how simple it is to place the order for privilege request online, paperless, right? And you don't need to go anywhere. All right. So now let's try to understand. Now your privilege is activated. So how you can place your order, where you will see what to buy, right? So we have our research team, in-house research team, who provides recommendations. So recommendations you can find where I will tell you. You need to click the tab on equity. The third option is research. You can click any of them. However, pick of the week and fundamental calls, these are strongly fundamental calls. So derivative comes into the technical sector. So you need to click on technical calls. Okay. And in product, so this is technical call, the calls which are open, and in the asset type, you need to select derivative and click on go. So the moment you click on go, you will be able to see the current derivative calls along with their research report. So this is a sell call, this is a buy call. This was initiated on 13 July, this was initiated on 16 July, right? So these calls are very much available here. And also trading ideas. So under trading ideas, you can go and click here. You can select the asset type as derivative, click on go. You will see the recent calls. So this was issued today itself. It's a future call. So the moment you click on buy, order panel will open with the details auto-populated. So you just need to select your contracts. You just need to select your pricing and how much lot size you want to go for, and click on place order. Your order would be successfully placed. So under the technical calls and the trading ideas, you can find our research recommendation of future and options. In case if you want on a real-time basis, then we also have a value-added SMS pack, so that you can subscribe for that as well. If you subscribe for that, you will receive SMSs as and when the calls are received, when to buy or when to exit or book profit. So those details are also available, right? So I will show you if you want to add that, from where you can check. You need to go to products. You need to go to other products, SMS Insta Pack. So this is how the call will look like. This is a sample call. And these are the plan details. So for derivative calls, 1 month package is of 200 rupees, 3 months is for 450, and 1 year is of about 1050, wherein you make a savings of 1350. So you can select if you want to subscribe. You just need to click here. You click it, it will ask you for your user credentials. Enter that, and you are good to go with the derivative SMS Insta Pack as well. Right? So this is how you can place your orders in derivatives. Now you can add this research widget on your home screen if you wish. That facility is also available with us. So you can see here I have put pick of the week, research calls and trading calls all together. Under research calls, I have fundamental calls, I have technical calls, right? Under trading calls, I can see all my trading calls. This is how this looks. And any of the widget you want to maximize and check, just click on maximize. You again get the same link through which we have been here earlier. So check these research reports and recommendations, and basis that you can start trading in future and options and start getting benefit of higher leverage and in return higher profits. Right? Now I will show you how you can do the same thing in the mobile application as well, right? Because every time it might not be that easy for us to have access to laptop or a computer, but yes, mobile app is something which we already have and it's on the go, right? So let me now show you our mobile application. So I'm just logging into my mobile application. And once you logged in, this is how the just 1 second. Yeah, so this is how the mobile application looks. Okay, so here you just need to go to more. Under that research, we have derivative research. So you can access this research which you just saw on the website on mobile application as well. So here you will see the calls on futures. It is more sorted and options separately. Okay. And whenever there is the modification or the call is closed, is been also immediately updated on mobile application. So here you can see these calls are already closed. Now this call is open. Okay. So you can see this is a sell call and the time horizon is for 3 days and the current potential upside it is showing as 2.85%. So your wish, if you want, you can place this order. Similarly, you can see for Petronet, it is still open and it's a buy call. Time horizon is of 3 days and the potential upside is about 8.86%. So if you want to buy this, you just need to click on buy. The moment you click on buy, details are auto-filled. You just need to select the product. So whether you want to go with margin means it is nothing but you can carry forward. If you do it intraday, you have to square off the position by the end of the day itself. Right? Then you select this lot size is about 3000. So in multiples of 3000, select the amount and you can place the order. So that's how simple it is to place order from mobile application. Same goes with option also. You can, if you are looking out for option, you can go with call option or put option as the call may be. You can seamlessly trade through this mobile application as well. Okay, I can also see some more questions. Those are coming on, and especially the questions are coming like I have no idea about future and options trading. However, I want to know. I don't even know the meaning, but I want to learn. Please help me to get the same. This is asked by Mr. Prasenjit Chaudhary and many more. Okay, so a lot of customers have asked how should I start in option as I have limited capital. So many questions on this part. So let me tell to all our viewers that understanding of derivative we have already done in a webinar. Okay, I will again right now show you. I'll navigate you. Where can you see the learning part? Okay, so in this mobile application itself, you just have to click on more. Then you have to go on videos. When you go on videos, you can see three options. So just click on learn, and here you can see the learning derivative learning series we have taken 4 series. Sorry, it is not visible. I guess now it is, right? So in this video section, you have to click on learn, and here you can see we have done with first derivative webinar series 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if you go through with these videos, this is very exhaustive and informative in nature. You will get the complete understanding and learning of futures and options, and basis that, with the help of your relationship manager which has been assigned to you by HDFC Securities, you can contact them and you can start placing your order and start your investments, right? So this is how you can place orders in mobile application, which I have just shown you. I have also shown you on the Empowered website, on the web portal, how you can do, right? Tomorrow we would be doing, for your information viewers, tomorrow we would be doing an exclusive webinar on Pro Terminal. Pro Terminal is our professional trading application, which is again available for website as well as for mobile application. So tomorrow I will be taking you through Pro Terminal. So please do your registrations and ask your questions so that we can prepare accordingly. All right. And that's all for now today. Now we are open for question and answers. And for Q&A, I have a product manager available with me, future and options product manager. So now we will go to question and answers, and let's see what is the first question that is coming up. Okay, so I have with me Sony, who will be addressing to our question and answers to all our viewers. So Sony, which questions are we getting? Okay, so this question is coming from Mr. Sushil Kumar. He is asking, what is covered call writing? So Sony, if you can address us on that.
Ashish, covered call writing is kind of a strategy where you have stocks in your portfolio and you don't want to exit from it, but you also seek some kind of intraday or short-term volatility coming in that kind of a stock particularly. So what do some of the investors or traders they do is that they sell or they write a call option, a deep out of the money call option of a higher strike against that same very stock. So
Okay.
that is known as a cover call writing. So in case if the short term, if the stock is falling, you don't want to erase it from your portfolio, but because of that covered call or the the call that you've written, the call strike option that you've written, that is holding a bearish kind of a view. So what happens is that against your portfolio which you are long in, you have this call written against it. So
Okay.
it falls, and when the stock falls, you earn some profit out of this call strike that you have written. So this will help you to hedge your position to some extent. So this is known as a covered call, where you sell a call option of a higher strike.
Okay, that's great. So what is the next question? Okay, now this question is asked by Mr. Mohit Dhiman, and there are multiple questions asked. So first one, we could see, should we have a plethora of already existing tricks in F&O trading, or is there something like momentum trading also applicable in options? Second is asking, what would be better, what would be the ideal reserve fund besides fund required for option trading so as to offset any losses? And the third question, what is the most beautiful trick in options trading through which we can get some minimum profit at least?
Okay, Mohit, I think what you're trying to understand over here is that first we'll go with the reserve fund kind of an idea, because that is the first thing that we need to understand, the margin requirement to trade in F&O. So there's this something called deposit or margin, which is like your initial deposit, your initial margin required for you to trade in futures. Whereas in options, we only require the premium amount to trade in that particular. So besides your initial margin that we have, you also should have some extra percentage or some extra margin with you in case for M2M, which is known as your mark to market, which can get calculated on a daily basis. So I think this is what your ideal reserve fund should be, uh, so that you don't anchor into any negative M2Ms, or you don't get to offset any losses. So this is what more important is. And if you're asking if there's any kind of tricks in FNO trading, see, there are obviously a lot of, not, I wouldn't call it tricks, but I would call it indicators and parameters which you should be aware of before getting into the FNO trading. Like Mr. Ashish has already covered in the beginning of this session, is that we have done this webinar series. So I think in one of those webinar sessions, we have covered the important indicators and parameters of FNO, which you can go through that webinar, understand what exactly are those indicators and how it would help you or affect your trading in FNO. I think this is what I would put it as tricks in understanding FNO. So because there are a very few important parameters that we have in derivative, which every trader or every non-trader also must be aware of to understand the sentiment of that particular stock or the market itself. And the last question that you're asking is, the most beautiful trick in options trading through which we can get some minimum profit. See, obviously, everything would depend on the view that you're holding. So if you are comfortable with a bullish view or a bearish view, you would be knowing what kind of position you should create, maybe a buy position or a sell position. So if you're going for, if you have a risk appetite where you don't want to take a lot of risk, but you want to get some moderate profit, so we would suggest buying of options would be better in those cases. Then again, depending on the expiry and the strike that you like, the different kind of view that you're holding, which strike you should opt for. So that would obviously depend on the view on that particular stock that you're holding. So I think you should be very clarified and thorough through the concept of writing and buying of options, to understand where you can have your risk reward ratio set off, where you have minimum profit, maximum profit, where you have minimum loss, unlimited loss kind of a scenario. Then only you can understand which strike to go for, whether you should buy, whether you should sell. I think that this is what would clarify for you.
Right. And I guess, Mr. Mohit, I would also request you to join tomorrow's webinar for Pro Terminal, because in that you will get to know how to track the sentiments of particular scripts. So next question, let me check. This we are getting from Mr. Jagir Yadav, and the question asked is, please let me know the margin of future trading.
Okay, again, Mr. Yadav, I think what's more important to know is that when you're trading in future and options, you don't require the entire margin to trade. So you just have a prefixed margin, let's say 20% of the contract value that is required for your future trading. So, if you are buying maybe like Nifty or Bank Nifty, like which any kind of index, you have a 10, 12, 15% of those kind of, margin requirement, or a prefix margin is what I can say. So every stock has a different contract value, and based on that contract value, the margin requirement is calculated. So obviously this is how much you would require to get in future trading. So that would require in what kind of stocks you're getting into, because all stocks have different calculation. However, to put it in a very generic sense, I think it's just 20 to 40% at max of the contract value that is required to get into any kind of future trading.
So this question we are getting from Mr. Anant Joshi, and he's asking how FNO functions, how we can involve in it.
Okay, see, again, how FNO functions and how you can involve in it. First, I think we've covered in this webinar itself, where Mr. Ashish has already shown you the different ways of where you can go and start your trading. So this is how you can trade. But in order to, before you get into that trade, you must have a thorough view of what FNO exactly is, where you must understand how to go about whether you should do it in future and options and all. So that, please, I would request you to go through all the 4 webinar series that we've conducted. Get your concepts of FNO clear and thorough before you get involved in it. And post that, how to trade, I think that we've already covered. So you can review this webinar again through a mobile application, through a pro terminal, through empowered pro terminal, which Mr. Ashish would be explaining tomorrow. So please be there. Please join this webinar again tomorrow to understand how you can go through pro terminal and trade in FNO. So I think this is very quite basic about it. So request you to all go through all of those 4 webinars.
Right. What is the next question that we are getting? Okay, so this question is asked by Mr. Deb Jyoti, and he is asking, in the research technical calls posted in HDFC Securities regarding options, my relationship manager told me to trade all the calls, then only you can get profit. But for that, I need huge money. What is your opinion? So, Soni, what do you have an answer for
See,
this?
I think here you are specifically asking about option trading. And as per our research recommendations, we go mostly for buying of options. And buying of options do not require a lot of margin. It just is required, what is required is your premium amount. For example, let's say if there's a future ABC, which has a lot size of 100 rupees, and you are buying this option, any strike option, which has a premium of 10 rupees. So your actual margin amount required would be 100 into 10. That's just 1000 rupees. So this is how buying of options work. So I think you need to clarify again from your relationship manager exactly what kind of recommendation has he or she requested you to go through, because according to our research recommendations, we go for mostly of buying of options which not require a lot of margin requirement. So but obviously that would only be for one trade at a time. So if you're doing like 10 trades and you're trading in all the research calls at a time, so you may just require a little more of that margin, but not a huge amount of money like you've mentioned. So I would request you to get back to your relationship manager again and ask exactly what kind of strategy that what exactly that call was all about, whether it's buying of option or writing of options. So then I think that you can get a clarification of how much margin requirement you would have.
So now we will take the last question because of the time constraint. Okay, so this question is asked by Mr. Venkat, and he is asking, how does one perform intraday? I guess it is intraday trade. In other words, how does one square off? Also, what's the difference between limit and market order? And what is the difference between margin in future trading and premium in options trade?
Okay, so Mr. Venkat, how you can get into an intraday trade, I think we already have shown you today, where we have 3 product types. One is margin, one is cover, one is intraday. So I think if you're going for future and option, it is the same way how you do it in cash itself. You need to just buy or sell something, and in the intraday itself, you'll have to square it off or take the counter position to square it off. So this is how it is done in intraday. Obviously, you can refer to all the research recommendations that we have for intraday, especially under cover orders under intraday specific category also. So how you can square it off is that I think before the market ends, obviously around 3 p.m. if despite of whether you're in a profit or loss, because it's an intraday trade, you're only playing for the day, for that particular day. So if you bought something in the morning, by 3 p.m. it would be advisable that you square off that position by selling that stock or whatever you've done for the day. So it's an intraday trade. The difference between limit and market order is that with market order, with the current market CMP or the current market price that is going on, you can place your order in that CMP. That's a market order. Whereas in limit order, you need to check the buyer and seller rate, which is known as your bid and ask spread. And then you can place a limit order, like according to the price that you are comfortable at placing the order. For example, something is going at 8 rupees, which is your CMP. If you're placing the order to buy that particular stock for 8 rupees, then that's a market order. But if you're placing to buy that particular stock at 7.80 or 7.90, that becomes a limit order. It has to be according to your comfort of wherever you are you agreeing to buy or sell that particular stock. And your last question is the difference between margin and futures trading and premium and options trade. So again, I think I've already clarified this in the previous questions, where in future trading you require pre-deposit margin, also known as deposit, which is barely 20 to 40% of your contract value. So that's your margin for futures. Whereas in options trade, you only require the premium amount, which I've already explained in the previous question. It's only the premium amount that's required for you to start trading in options. So if a premium is 10 rupees, 20 rupees, multiply it with your lot size, and that is your maximum margin required for options trading. So I think this is the basic difference between margin of futures and margin in options trading. And I think that's all. We have the questions. We'll try to answer all of the other questions and send it across to you separately, replying each of your questions, certainly. And please, ensure that you join us for all the other webinars. And I would like to say thank you, and over to you, Mr. Ashish.
Thank you so much, Sony, for this interactive session. So that's here we end. Thank you so much to all our viewers for joining us. Tomorrow, Pro Terminal, and you can see this webinar as well. In case if you have missed it out from the start, we will be uploading this on YouTube as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead.